Why, hello, everybody. I'm back with some more of this. It's been several days since I've been recording, so I decided to take a little bit of a breather. I'll be doing a lot of those, I'll be kind of uploading stuff in chunks, and then sometimes, some weeks I won't. So, I don't know when this will be released, but, hey, we'll do something, it's until, I don't know, what am I doing here? So, yep. Because that's the thing, though, is I always get on these weird uploading binges where I was like, I need to upload this amount of crap, and then some weekends it's like, I'm just lazy as hell and I just don't want to do anything, like, it's just like, as the way that it's been lately, it's like, I just really don't want to do crap lately, well, we're progressing pretty well in this game, so I'm not too concerned about it. I mean, there's really no deadlines or anything like that. I'm not that, hardcore of a streamer. Well, I don't really stream, but, I was a YouTuber. I think that's a word, isn't it? YouTuber. I don't know if it is, and that's what I am. So I'm filming this in it's March. So yeah, getting towards the end of March here. Is it's pretty much what we're at right now. Now, I have to admit one thing, this Ferris wheel's definitely been a challenge. For sure. Oh, there you go. Good, cool. Some more of this up here, so. There we go. Oh, we actually did something. Okay, cool. I don't exactly know what we did, but okay, it's probably that, that thing up there that does that thing, that holds that thing together, and I cannot get on this thing. Why? So the biggest thing that's being talked about on social media right now is that Snow White remake with that, whatever the hell her name is. I guess, well, her name is not really worthy to remember anyway, because I don't think she's a very good actress, but anyway. I mean, you just literally have to watch some clips of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's like, what? No, it's more like Snow Woke in the Seven Dwarfs is what it really sounds like to me, because it just, I don't know. I'm like, the songs themselves are really not that atrocious. It feels like they're just AI generated, and it just too, little, let's say, what's a good way to put it? over the top, to say the least. So, right now it is rated as one of the worst movies of all time right now. So now, I think last time I saw it was like a 1.9 out of 10. So, yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah, it kind of, kind of sucks to be them, but of course the main controversy here is because that actress who played Snow White, I don't even know her name. I don't even care to know her name. I've seen it several times. My mind just doesn't want to remember it because it's not written. She's not a really good one either. So, but I think I made that point clear. But the thing is some of the stuff that she said about the original Snow White, so she just found the thing so creepy and made women look, made women not very independent, they just look like they really need a man, like a damsel in distress type thing. I was like, well, that's what they were going for. I mean, that was Walt Disney's first pretty much, full-length feature film there. It was made in 1937, so, that's just, that's just what the time was back then, and, so, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, I can clearly tell you, was not my favorite Disney film. I mean, I think I saw bits and pieces of it. I didn't really see the full movie, but you kind of get the gist of it. I mean, it's just, just under 2 hours. It's not a very long film. But but I read stuff online, I was like, the people that saw in theaters, they said the theaters were practically empty, So people not going to watch this movie because this woman was so disrespectful. Of the original version, people were saying just to hell with this bitch, I was like, okay, that's a little over the top, but, at the same time, this woman is, entitled to her opinion, but I think it's a really kind of a bad idea to be downplaying the character that you're going to be playing. Because, some girls might be, might be wanting to look up to you, but not to that. No. I was like, she's like, no. She's like, oh, women are stronger than that. They don't need a man. I'm like, okay, so you're just doing this sort of as a thing to promote your, your feminist ways. Okay, sure. Fine. But yeah, it's just, it's, a lot of people say that it just was just not, it's not that great of a film, and a lot of parts of it just seemed rushed. And they said the ending really didn't make much sense. I mean, it was kind of, anticlimactic, if I can speak to that. My thing is, I respect the classics, so they may not always be my favorite. I'm not really a fan of Cinderella. I'm not I'm not a fan of Sleeping Beauty. All the prince and all that princess crap. That's just not my thing, you know? But, well, I mean, like, except for, like, you know, Beauty and the Beast, I really loved that movie. You know, and the remake of it with Emma Watson in it, I thought that was actually a pretty good one, you know? It was one of their better ones. At least in my opinion. The Lion King was, you know, to say the least. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. You know, it just didn't have that, what's the word for it? It just didn't have that same magic that the other one did. The other one was so masterful. You know, you had just that brilliant soundtrack with, you know, with Sir Elton John, and it was just awesome. I mean, it was epic, you know. And even when you played the opening theme song to the original Lion King, I mean, you kind of feel it down there, you know. You get emotional, you know. Just something about it, you know. Just the sheer power that number has, you know. It's pretty much introducing you to, you know, you're in the African jungles, you know, and the safaris and stuff like that. So, fixing to meet the king of the jungle, you know. So, I mean, it's don't get me wrong, it is epic, but this is you know, this is really coming along a lot quite nicely. I can speak, Robert. Seriously. This thing's a little, I don't know. It's kind of creepy, you know. Oh. Okay. Just this particular portion right here. You're gonna stop. Alright. So our goal is to at least get these I don't know, these I don't know what the hell you call these. I wouldn't necessarily would call this, like I say, carriage or nothing. It's not that. I really don't know what the actual term for this is. Man, we're going to get all them clean this video, and then last video we're going to do our final touch-ups, and then finally move on to the next project, whatever that may be. So honestly, I'm not gonna go see Snow White. I'm like, Snow White was really not necessarily one of my favorites. All right, so I was like, yeah, well, I'm just like, you know, maybe it's on the airplane or something. I might check it out for curiosity, but just that type of story is not my cup of tea. You know, just not. I do love a lot of the Disney films. You know, from my childhood, you know, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast. One of my favorite ones, though, is A Sword in the Stone. I think that they have not true. They would consider remaking that. Because I'd be so mad if they did. It's like you already ruined some of your classic franchises from the 80s and 90s. You know, quit doing that shit, you know? Have some originality. Bring the actual, you know, art back into, you know, cinematics. You know, just the hand-drawn stuff. Just have some genius, you know? Like, the last thing they did, I think, was in 2009. It was a Princess Frog, which was a masterpiece, by the way. I loved that movie. See, why cannot Disney go back to that, you know? I mean, I want them to go back to that, because that formula worked. Because people actually were creative, you know? I mean, they told a great story, you know? About that famous story, but, you know, but it was with a twist. So I think that's, you know, that's a thing, though. Well, I don't know where I'm going, y'all. Sorry. Sorry. I don't want to make anybody sick here. But yeah, it's like, you know, oh, Sword in the Stone is such a good one. I mean, I might have to, every now and then I always like to kind of sit back and kind of watch some of the movies from my childhood, just to, you know, for nostalgia's sake, you know. 101 Dalmatians, I think they've already done all they could really do with that one. The live-action remake they did a long time ago was actually really good. I mean, I actually liked it. You know, with Glenn Close and all that, so. It's way back in the day, though. I'm glad they have not touched that since. That'd be one freaking train wreck, I'll tell you that much. Especially all this woke crap going on. All they're doing right now, they're just kind of ruining everything. But I don't like to talk politics, so I'll just kind of leave it at that. All of a sudden, it was quiet. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Apparently this part of this is still not clean. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just missing it or... let's see here. Oh, where are you? And this is downright frustrating. Hello? See, it says there's just a little bit of the pod left. Oh, it's a floor? You're gonna do me that way? See, 79% clean, folks. That's actually pretty good. I think we've done some really good progress today. It's definitely looking a lot better than we just got to do the outside and these exterior stuff. I think we should be done with it. So, what time is this? Okay, so I think that's a pretty good place to stop. But so yeah, next time we're gonna be using that scaffolding over there, probably just to finish this up, the exterior up, and whatever's left. Then we'll be moving on to the next project. So thanks for hanging out with me in this video. So I'll see y'all next time.